Hey, welcome to Q&A Tuesday. It's Lorna from Small Business Diva. Absolutely fabulous to have you here with us once again. This is the place to be if you want to create the absolute life that you just totally love, have the business of your dream, the lifestyle that you want to have, and everything that goes with it. Welcome. This week's Q&A is far more about the A and far less about the Q. I was talking to one of my clients the other week who's building a fabulous team underneath her. And she was telling me about some new recruits that she had who were quite against setting goals and putting some targets in place. And they said, that old goal setting fooey stuff, it's just all wishy-washy, it doesn't mean anything, and I don't think I want to be doing that. And they were really quite oppositional about setting any sort of goals and any sort of targets. And she found this a little bit frustrating, so we had a little bit of a conversation about it, and I thought it was probably really quite poignant because there's probably lots of people out there who are trying to build teams or have team members working with you who are really against setting goals and setting some of these targets. So I thought, let me share with you what's kind of going on for them, of why most people are a little bit, not so much anti-goals, but think that it's phooey, think that it's just hogwash and it's really not going to work and it's just all mumbo-jumbo stuff. It really isn't a whole lot of mumbo-jumbo. There is a whole lot of psychology happening in behind it, and I just thought I'd want to share with you some of what that is and maybe some ways that you can help them combat it. So when someone tells you that the goal-setting process, etc., is all mumbo-jumbo and they don't want to set goals, what's really going on for them, generally speaking, and there are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, what it is, it's a chance for them or an opportunity for them to avoid being responsible. It's a way out. I call it a get out of jail free card. It's like get them out of jail free. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be answerable. They don't want to have level of responsibility for something that they commit to that they're not prepared to follow through on. That's usually what I find happens with people who just think it's mumbo-jumbo. But there really is a psychology behind it. When you start setting goals, you start to give your unconscious mind something to focus on, something to understand where you're going, and something that it can look towards, and that is what the goal you're trying to achieve. If you're in business and you don't have any goals, and you don't have a plan, and you don't have anything to direct your unconscious mind to focus on, you are going to be all over the shop. How do you know if you've achieved anything? How do you know if you're tracking? How do you know where you're actually headed? Your business can bring you amazing things, but if you don't have some level of purpose to it and to understand where it's actually taking you or what you want to achieve, it just ends up being a lot of mess and muddle about what you want to actually get out of being in business. And you end up, when the tough times come, you don't know what the drivers are, you don't know why you want to be there, why you're doing it, and it just becomes all too tough. So that's what's happening. Usually what will happen when they're avoiding them, they're after a way out. They're after a way to not be accountable, to not be responsible, to not want to own their results, good or bad. They may have had some things happen to them in their past. They may have set a bunch of goals. I don't know, they were going to lose weight. They maybe have been in other businesses. They've had a whole set of goals that they've set for themselves. They haven't known how to achieve them. They've let themselves down and they've failed. They may have embarrassed themselves with other people because they've made these goals public. There's usually a lot of psychology running from fear sitting in behind a person who refuses to set goals or thinks they're mumbo-jumbo and thinks they're a whole lot of hooey and they don't want to do them. It is about them being afraid to dream, afraid to put themselves on the line, and afraid to put anything down on paper that commits them, because usually what will happen is they don't know why they want it. Big part of our goal-setting workshops that we run is, what is your why? Why do you want to be in business? This is where the goal-setting underground is the foundation of setting those goals. So if you've got some people in your team or maybe some staff members who are adverse to setting goals or really oppositional to it, maybe start to tweak out for them what it really is that's going on for them. What are they really afraid of? And maybe get them to get smaller goals. Maybe the goal they're looking at or what you're thinking is achievable for them, they can't quite see that yet. Maybe you need to chunk it down to somewhere smaller. As I said, to me, it's a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. It is about people who don't want to be accountable, don't want to be responsible, for whatever reason it comes from them. If you can encourage them to set little goals and start small and really celebrate the achievements, that's the best place to start for people who don't want to be doing goal setting. You get them doing that and get them to celebrate little wins and little tiny wins, you'll find that then they'll start to learn and to enjoy celebration of those little wins. You'll find people who don't like to set goals and don't like to get involved in all that aren't really good at celebrating their wins, aren't really good at valuing themselves, and don't really enjoy the whole celebration of who they are and what they can achieve. So I hope you found this really, really useful. Please leave your comments at the bottom of the video. Love for you to share it with others if you've enjoyed it. And of course, if you've got a question, please send it in to me. The email address is just below the video. Love to hear back from you. And thanks for joining us here on Q&A Tuesday. See you next week.